Okay, hello friends. So today I'm just joining from my mobile. There is some problem in the laptop. So friends, today we have Reshma with us all the way from Bengaluru. She's having 15 years of total IT experience, and from last 4.5 years, she's working as a Scrum Master. And recently, she cracked a couple of interviews, and we have long list of interview questions with us. Now, I think it's more than 25 or 30. So, shall we reveal, Reshma, how many offers you have? It's five, six, I don't know. So, okay, so that's the thing, friends, today. And yeah, Reshma. So, first of all, thank you for coming on our channel and sharing your experience. So, why don't you tell us about yourself before we start our Q&A session?
Yes, Sanand. First of all, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share my experience with your channel, Career Talk. And also this gives me an opportunity to learn also many things from you and whoever are participating here. Thanks for that. And yes, as you mentioned, I am Reshma Patil, and I have around nearly 14.5 years, nearly 15 years of IT experience. And out of that, like 10 years, I was into testing, QA and test manager. And rest like 4.5 years, I was into less amount into short duration into project management, and then remaining in as a Scrum Master. So this is a brief about me. And recently I have started attending the interviews, and I have actually many few things are in the pipeline. It is in the offer stage. Few
That's okay. That you don't have to tell us. That's
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That we discuss offline. No problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, this is a brief about me.
Okay. Thanks. So Reshma, if you allowed, shall we start?
Sure.
Okay. So here the very first one. So velocity of the first sprint is 90. The velocity of the second sprint is 80. So how you will calculate the velocity of the third sprint?
Okay. So basically, like what is velocity? When we can start with this, like velocity is what we measure by definition. If we go, it's the amount of work a team can handle in a sprint. So that it's simple as that. But if you have given me like question that only two sprints velocity, so with two sprints I may not be able to come to a precise amount of number of velocity for the third sprint. So I have to consider many factors in that, like dependency, and also the whatever if we have any bugs from the two sprints, if I have anything to work on those bugs in the third sprint, at least from the second sprint, if I have to work on those, that also will add into the third sprint. So there are many factors, complexity, or the stories which are in the pipeline, dependencies. So, and also the resource, if somebody is on leave or not. So many things will come into picture. But in ideal case, if we don't have any complexities or any dependencies, anything, so I can just go with ideal thing as 75 to 80.
Okay. How you are coming up on this number, 75 or 80?
Actually, the first, the team I have worked with the team for the two sprints. So in the first sprint, the team didn't had anything, any bugs or any defects to fix. So it delivered 90 story points. It was clean. And next second sprint, what happened? This is not exactly 90 and 80, but a similar thing I have experienced, that in the second sprint we could deliver less compared to the first sprint because of the some of the defects which we had to fix from the first sprint. So we had to take some time out for that in sprint 2. So in that case, I can just, ideal case I'm telling, it can be 75 to 80, but I cannot judge exactly how much it will be. It will not be possible actually.
Okay. So you mean to say that capacity utilization will play the important role while you will decide the velocity?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. 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 Thanks. Shall we move?
Sure, yes, yeah.
Okay. So this one is a little bit scenario which has been given. So a
Okay.
team member is very good. He's like a kind of SME for your team. He understands the application in and out, and he's there with the team from last couple of years.
Mhm.
Now we want to get a release in next 10 days,
Mhm.
and he just tell us that he really want to move out as soon as possible.
Mhm.
And uh, and so what is your backup plan? How you are going to handle this kind of situation? Because in a shorter span of time, you need to arrange a lot of things.
Mhm.
And if he will not be released in a given time, let's say next 1 week or 10 days,
Mhm.
then maybe you have this risk that he might not able to share his or her knowledge with other team members.
Okay.
What you can do as a scrum master to avoid this kind of situations? That's a question.
Okay. Actually, this may be a situation which many SMs would have faced. So the first thing is, before I go and think and tell about what I will do in this situation, first of all, as an SM, I should make sure that this situation should not come where I am dependent on only one person. As like delivery, we have a short span time of 2 week sprint, and agile and scrum, we know all of this. And since you are saying that he's from many months or years in the team, and we know what is agile and scrum, and I should make sure that I am not entirely dependent on him for my delivery. That is the first point. I should make the team make sure that think about the cross functionality, where everybody should know what he is doing and what is the things going on with his updates, or if even if somebody leaves the company, other team members should be able to take the tasks or stories which the person is working on, then they should be able to deliver it. The team should be in that kind of situation basically. But even if I consider your scenario, in the worst case, if it has happened like this, like where he is going to he wants to be released, and since it says he's already in the team from much before time, so definitely a bond would have been created between SM, me, myself, and with that person, team member. So we would have definitely a cordial relationship. And with that in mind, I will try to talk to him and just try to convince him and discuss with him that just wait for 10 days, because he's like, if he's very much, first I'll try to understand what is his problem, why he's trying to get released from the project, what can I do to change his decision. So I'll try to address those things. If of course he may not tell it immediately, but yes, I will try to get those answers, and if I can resolve it, it's very well good, and it will help the team also, and maybe him also. But if he's like very strong in his decision of leaving the project for sure, like then I would at least request him to that wait for 10 days, we have a release. So after that, I will discuss with the entire, I will work on this whole thing and discuss with the management also about this, and I will just work on your release after this, release from the project after our release, our delivery release, which happens just generally in my project, it used to happen quarterly. So I'll just try to request him in that case, so that he will, this is the way I think I will handle the situation. I think that is from my side.
Okay. Okay, so let's move on to the other one. So for example, your product owner is not cooperating for whatever reason. Let's say he's busy with a number of, let's say, 4 or 5 different projects, and he's not regularly updating the backlogs or things like that. So what you will do in this kind of scenarios?
Okay. Yes, and I have faced this kind of situation when one of the project where I had a product owner in the similar situation which you have mentioned. So initially what I did was I tried to talk to the product owner, and of course he knew what is Agile and what is Scrum, because he was working in that, started working from a couple of months in Scrum and Agile. But still, since I was a little pretty older in Agile and Scrum than him, so I tried to explain and coach him that what will be the impact if he doesn't cooperate, and how our delivery will get impacted, and the team model will get affected. So it will disrupt the whole process as such. So I try to do that with him, and it initially it like it didn't actually work better much. So that was in the first round of discussion. So he was like very sure that he will be like, these are the like extreme cases I have faced. Like he was sure that he will not be able to contribute. Like he will not, the things what he mentioned was he will not be able to write any user stories in the product backlog. So what he will do is he will just try to get the details requirements from the clients, and rest I should take care as a Scrum Master. So and with the help of any Scrum team. So this was his idea, and because he was managing some 3-4 projects at a time, so he didn't have the time. That was his explanation. So now in that scenario, I initially I found it very difficult to how to handle it, like how to make him agree or make him convince. Then in the first discussion, yes, I found a lot of resistance from him, and I had a second round of discussion with him, try to explain him more in detail. So that was also not went with great result, positive result. So meanwhile, since I had a very short-term project and I did not had much time to wait for the change of the product owner's behavior and slowly get things on track, I had a very short-term project and everything had to be quick. So what I did is, it was not an exactly escalation, but it was like I just wrote a mail to the product owner involving like including what all we discussed and what all we had agreed before, and what are the deviations we are facing now and how it is impacting everything in a mail, and then just copied the delivery manager in that, and just shared with him, and as and when I discussed it. So this just helped me, came in handy, because then delivery manager came to me and asked what is happening. So yeah, I just explained this whole situation, and also I tried that I told explained that I have tried from my side to the full extent to convince the product owner, but the reason is this is that he's managing 3-4 projects and he will not be able, he's not having enough time. So then now even the delivery manager also had to think on like how the allocation of the product owner has been happened for the 4 projects, including the one which I was part of. So then the discussions happened at that delivery manager level also, that how much percentage allocation and what contribution the PO has to be made. And then like the delivery manager had a one-to-one meeting with PO and also with me as well. And it found out that like it came out that they removed ownership of the 2 projects with him, because those were less complex projects. The one which we were handling, the one which I was part of SM, and the other project. So he was made the they retained only 2 projects with him, and they removed and signed a new PO for another 2 projects which were like less complex and a little bit easy projects. So in that way, like finally the issue got resolved, and after the discussion with the delivery manager, though it was not any escalation, but I had a one-to-one meeting again with the PO, that my intention was not to just escalate or anything. It was just to resolve the issue, that you were totally occupied and how can I help you to resolve it. So yes, and finally it worked out, and we started working together as a team, with the PO with his responsibility and SM as my responsibility. Yeah, that's from my side.
Okay, Reshma, thank you. So, friends, I'm getting a lot of requests that if I want to add something during the session, I should do that. So I'm just hearing your answer, Reshma.
Yeah.
Now, if I were you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same situation, I'm not going to change anything,
Okay.
but just a little bit of twist, and
Mm-hmm.
then the complete answer will be different.
Okay.
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 So everyone is aware about the star method.
Yeah.
You are also doing the same thing. I'm not doing anything different. So
Mm-hmm.
let's say situation. So situation in hand is that my
Mm-hmm.
PO is not that much productive,
Yeah.
right? And the
Yes.
reason is when I had a word with him, I take him or her into a confidence, and then we discussed. And then I came to know that he or she is busy with different projects. So
Yeah.
though he or she want to help me as a PO, but he himself herself don't have that much bandwidth to do that, because
Mm.
his allocation is into 3-4 different projects. So obviously he don't have time
Yeah.
to give to our team,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
And I think that's not his or her fault. Now
Mm.
this is the situation. Now I have a task in hand that as a Scrum Master, our team should able to achieve the sprint goal in a desired time frame, right?
Mm.
Whatever
Mm.
you all already mentioned, that the duration is very less.
Yes.
So my task in hand is to make sure that my team understand the requirement,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter when it's coming from PO or ABC. That's the
Mm-hmm.
task in hand. My task is
Mm.
not to escalate the PO, right? My task in
Mm.
hand is make sure that
Mm.
delivery should happen. The release should happen on a given time. That's the
Mm.
task in hand.
Mm.
Now, important thing as a Scrum Master, what are the different actions which I could have taken, right?
Mm.
So what
Okay.
I have done, now here
Mm-hmm.
we are talking about I, right?
Mm. Mm.
In your example, you have escalated it, and then in a way, it's escalation only. If you have written to your delivery manager, writing, copying him
Okay.
in TCC, and then he's coming, right? What is
Okay.
your role? What is your contribution? So the action could be that
Okay.
I understand, I as a Scrum Master, I understand his or her situation as a PO, and then
Mm-hmm.
I propose that okay, let me talk to your delivery manager or your product manager who has
Mm-hmm.
given this allocation, because I have to make him or her understand, your product manager, that how it's going to impacting not your own project but the other 3-4 different project as well. And at the
Mm-hmm.
end, we as a team, we as a organization not able to deliver a proper product to the end customer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now
Okay.
here you are coming into picture. Now
Mm.
you are going to the delivery manager or product manager, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Along with him or alone, it's up to you. You both can
Mm-hmm.
decide. Maybe he or she
Mm-hmm.
is introvert, maybe he's new, right?
Yeah.
Maybe he
Mm-hmm.
don't have that much confidence, right? So
Yeah.
then I understand that purpose. Yeah, he's pretty new, or he don't have that much domain
Mm-hmm.
knowledge, or he's pretty new to the organization, so he's not
Yeah.
able to say no to a lot of things, right?
Yes.
But
Yeah.
I understand that. So as his or her voice,
Mm-hmm.
I reach out to the delivery manager
Yeah.
and explain the complete situation in a way. So
Mm-hmm.
this is one of the action. And then I also propose a couple of things that, okay, for a time being, let me had a word with other old BAs or other product owners,
Mm-hmm.
right? I
Mm-hmm.
can always take their help, right? And I
Okay.
can also make sure that other POs, maybe if he's not that expert in a particular domain, that
Mm-hmm.
external, trainings has been, or internal trainings has been provided to that particular PO. And for a
Mm-hmm.
time being, I reach out to the end user from where he's
Mm-hmm.
getting the uh, request or requirements, right?
Okay.
So I always keep him or her in loop, and then you can propose two things that okay, I can take a other PO's help for a timing, or let's say one of our senior developer or who is already there into the team from last couple of years, right? He has taken that role
Okay.
for a timing.
Mhm.
So this is what you have done, right?
Okay.
The same answer, and then in the last result. So this results in the result is quite fruitful. We are able to deliver our project on time. Right now, PO is also more confident. The delivery manager is happy that I have taken the initiative and
Okay.
done this. Right.
Okay.
Same thing. Whatever you have told, same answer. Right.
Yeah.
I have not
Yeah.
done anything different. Now
Yeah.
you can see the difference when someone is going to hear this answer. Same answer, same thing. I've not done anything, honestly. I
Yes.
just
Yes.
changed the little bit words and
Yeah.
structured in a way. And here it's you as a scrum master because
Yeah.
it's your interview. You have to
Yes.
share what you have taken the initiative, not
Yes.
writing a simple email and just escalating it. It not, I mean, if I am the interviewer, yeah, I mean, what you have done in there, right? And the way
Yeah.
I have answered,
Yes.
same thing you have done, but
Yes.
now your image is totally different,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes. You
So,
are
guys,
correct.
I don't know whether just put in a comment section like whether you are agree with me or not. So this is the small things, but then it can make or break.
Yes. Yes.
So these are
Yes.
the things.
I totally agree, as you know. But I just have a small question adding to this. Like in one of the interview, I got a question saying that the same scenario, the same question what you have asked. The further to this, like after I answered like different possible things what I can do within this situation, the condition was the interviewer asked me, the condition was, as a scrum master you are not supposed to write any user story, or you should not do anything with the product backlog, nor the any scrum team member, no, nobody should do anything in that. It's PO that's he explained that this is a condition, only PO should do that, nobody else should do touch the user stories. I mean, initially starting when we write it. So, and you don't get involved in the team member, then how do you handle this? And also another condition is that PO is very well versed with Agile and Scrum. Like he's not new to it. He knows every in and out of Agile. He's an expert in Scrum. So you need not explain him what is the impact or how this is going to impact.
Okay. So let's take the very first one.
Yeah.
So who is the owner of product backlog? He only. We know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he owns the product backlog, but it doesn't mean that he is the only person to write the user stories, right? Right.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And right. I mean, he can delegate that thing to anyone. Now, who is capable of writing the user story can write the user stories, right? Now, why he's not writing the user stories, that you as a scrum master has to find out. You have to dig out, right?
Yeah.
So if someone is telling you that, yeah, we understand it's the accountability is with the product owner, but the responsibility is of the team. First of all,
Yes. Yes.
understand this and make your interviewer understand that this particular thing, right? That's the very first thing. Now, what you have asked then after that?
Like I don't need any coaching for the product owner because people.
Coaching. See, everyone has their role in a project, right?
Yeah.
You have a certain role and responsibility. That's the reason you have joined this project. Your
Yes.
developers have some roles, right? That's why your
Yes.
PO has signed someone role, right?
Yes.
Some responsibilities are there, right? So if he and she is aware about the responsibilities, that's okay. If
Yes.
someone is not aware about his or responsibility, then someone has to tell him, right? What's
Yes.
wrong? What is your accountability and responsibility? There is a difference between that,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
If someone is not doing his or her job, then it's going to impact your project at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
So what are
Yes.
the things which you can do? There are a lot of options, right?
Mhm.
Now, if it's a PO, it's obviously going to impact your project. Now you have to find out. We have just discussed the reasons, right? It can be a number of the reasons. It again varies
Yes.
from team to team,
Yes. Yes.
individual to individual, right? So you have to
Yeah.
find that root cause, right?
Yes.
And then parallelly give some other options to your team. to your delivery
Mhm.
managers, to your PO, whoever
Yes.
is. It can be PO, it can be developer tomorrow, it can be Scrum Master tomorrow, it can be anything, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you should always ready with couple of examples that okay, this is what I have done, or this could be done,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So understand the question first, right? And propose some scenarios that okay,
Mhm.
there is no right and wrong answer.
Yeah.
They just want to understand your thinking, right? Okay, how far you can think about it,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So that's the best which we can do. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. I agree.
Okay. Okay. Shall we move on?
Sure.
Okay. 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 So this one is again an interesting one. Now I'm not going to interrupt you. Okay. So you can just carry on. I just want to give a small demo, nothing else. So we will now continue. I will not interrupt you in the session, right?
No, no, no.
Okay.
It's not interruption, Sunan. It's like
No,
discussion.
no, no. That's okay. Otherwise, this session I don't know how long it will be. Okay.
Okay.
So let's move on.
Okay.
So assume your team is fully agile,
Mm-hmm.
though it's very difficult to assume, but let's assume that
Okay.
your team is now fully agile. They
Mm-hmm.
follow all the processes.
Okay.
They are mature enough uh, as a team.
Mm-hmm.
So now, as a Scrum Master, what you will do in those kind of teams? Your team is more mature. They understand the in and out of the agile and Scrum. So, what
Yeah.
is your take on that?
Yeah. I think like even though, of course, as you said, it is difficult to have a ideal team as such matured, fully, completely into Scrum. But still, even if you assume that something like that is existing, even then, a Scrum, a lot of things are there for a Scrum Master to do, like. Say for example, of course, all these ceremonies we will have to do, and apart from that, I need, as a Scrum Master, I need to make sure that everything is going smooth, and that takes a lot of effort, like be it facilitation or having the one-to-one discussions with the team member, or making sure that everything is going fine, acceptance criteria, and we are making the stories met with the DODs, or all this stuff. Like there are these things which I need to keep in mind, and also make sure the team's moral or motivated by themselves, and it should not get reduced, because at least I have seen practically, though the team is like fully agile, the whole company is fully agile, um, for some reasons, like these motivation factors keeps, like, say they will be like fully on high voltage for they say 2 sprints, and maybe some personal reasons, could be some personal reasons, or some professional career reasons, or something else. uh, I've seen that they have come down, and uh, some it has started affecting their work. So at that time, as a Scrum Master, my role will be very vital, because I have to be a very keen observer of all these things, and make sure that these things, I'll address these things and discuss, and know what is happening and why, and how can I resolve it, if I can be of any help to the person, if it is impacting. And after all this, if, like, yes, in ideal situation, say if I have resolved everything, and every thing is going good and all that, and I'm keenly observing everything, and in that case, obviously I should deliver more. Like, if everything is going fine, then definitely it means that I will have to deliver more from my project. So I should concentrate on that as well. Like, of course, my velocity I can concentrate on increasing my velocity sprint by sprint, and make customers happy by delivering things faster than what we had agreed before. So this could be my opinion on this.
Yeah, thanks, Reshma. And you could have maybe work with other team as well. Maybe your allocation may be little less in this particular team, and maybe you can
Mm-hmm.
help other team as well. Like how you have
Yeah.
achieved that matured in this team, maybe you can replicate that in other team as well. That
Yes,
you can
actually,
also do.
yes.
Yeah.
Actually, I had done it like not actually. I didn't get involved in other team, but I was a part of the organizational transformation where I was part of this COE. Which like aimed at helping the entire organization, whoever is interested, I mean, whoever is getting transformed to waterfall to Scrum. So we just as a team of Scrum Masters, we helped those teams. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Shall we move on?
Sure.
Okay. So again, this is the most asked question. What is your biggest challenge which you have faced as a Scrum Master, and how you overcome it, Reshma?
Okay. Yes. So the first thing, of course, I had faced many challenges, but one of the biggest thing was like when I started my journey as a Scrum Master, I was put into a project where the team had just the whole actually company had just started to move from waterfall to agile, and that was like difficult for everybody. It was a learning phase and also challenging phase. But in spite of all these things, I had another challenge. Like we had like team members from India, Bangalore, and also from Denmark, and like majority of the people from the Denmark were like very much older than me, much older than me, say like 50, 55 years of age, and they were still developers because you know better, like they like generally it is not like if they are 55 they should be a manager, nothing like that. So they were like still developers and the QA and all that stuff, and they were like from years they were doing the waterfall model, and it was a challenge for me to address that, discuss with them and how to resolve it. So initially I was at the first place when I came to this situation, I was taken aback for a minute, like I was thinking how to handle this. Then I sat and thought about it, and then like what I did was like I started having one-to-one discussions with all of those, and I had to be very careful in my conversation and discussions with him, where I should make sure that I should not offend them, that I cannot tell them whatever you were doing till now is not right. So that is not the case. So I just explained them, yes, whatever you were doing till now, it suited your project and you did it well, that's perfectly fine. But now a new thing has come into the whole IT industry, that is Agile and Scrum. And it is this, if we adopt to this, what are the advantages we have, and also how can they improve their day-to-day work and save their time also, like compared to the way they were working before, and save their time with implementing of all these agile principles, and make their life also easy, instead of spending hours and hours in front of system. So much of the things can be resolved by discussions and interactions and many stuff. So I try to give them examples, like for one by one, say for example value I just mentioned, like interactions over processes and tools. So like different over what values we have, right? So I just try to explain them with all these values, and it slowly just gave the fruits, like after having one-to-one and also group discussion. I had many discussions, and also I just explained them how working software over documentation will be helpful, because they used to spend a lot of time in documenting their work. And that also I just asked them to try it, that reduce your documentation time and see how effective will be, like our software can be more effective. And also like I just gave the example because I had one or two examples in previous projects where we had some customer dissatisfaction, because after the delivery at the end of the project, so they were not much happy, because it was not what exactly they wanted. So I just gave that example and explained that how frequent feedback can help us get the things done what customer wants, and how we can make them happy. So like this, I just took one by one values or principles, and I tried to convince and explain them. And yes, fortunately, like all were cooperative, though they themselves also had the challenge for shifting from waterfall to agile. But they all cooperated, and it came out to be fruitful with everybody's effort. Yeah,
Great.
yeah,
Thanks, Reshma.
that's from my side. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. Okay. So next one is regarding the mistake. So you have any regrets, or you have done any big mistake as a Scrum Master so far, which you want to share?
Yeah, like what I just realized is like Scrum Master should have a very delicate balance between uh, facilitating and also as making sure that things are done. Like as a Scrum Master, I cannot be commanding the team or ordering the team, or like I cannot track the work what they have done or not, like typical management thing. I'm not supposed to do all that. And also at the same time, I should make sure that team takes the Scrum Master seriously. Like it should not happen that like when delivery manager comes and tells, the team will listen, and if Scrum Master says, they will not listen. So it was my challenge in the beginning, like in the when I started my career as a Scrum Master. So as the time progressed, I just realized, and I that how to handle that. Like I should first make, at least from my side, I learned that I have to have a good bondage, good relationship, working relationship with the team, where they are open to me. They are free to talk to me and discuss what they want to, whether be it their challenges or uh, whatever it can be. They should be. I should make them feel comfortable to talk to me and come to me whenever they want to. So that will ease my effort as a Scrum Master, and it will add an advantage to the whole team, and definitely it will make. And also like I tried making some fun activities now and then, which created jovial environment in the team, where we try to understand each other better, and through that also it helped a lot as a team. And I just understood all this through my years of experience, that yeah, I should maintain a delicate balance between the two.
Okay. Thanks a lot,
Yeah.
Reshma.
Yeah.
Okay. This one is interesting. So could you explain the life cycle of a story in your project in Scrum?
Okay. So yes, to begin with, life cycle. So yes, to begin with, I say the story starts from like when the requirements come, and the product owner gets the requirements from the clients, and he puts into the epics or store. This is how I have worked on epics and store features in the Jira. And then like team, we all discuss, and of course SM and SM, I used to facilitate the product backlog get participated in that discussion. And this like in that, like story will be created in the product backlog refinement. Like product PO used to break down those features and epics, and there the story writing starts. It starts from there. And once it is written, like it is discussed with the team member, whole team, Scrum team, like prioritized. And then it's like we have this estimation also. We used to do high level estimation also in the product backlog refinement session. And through that, like we used to get the high level idea on estimation part and prioritization part. And also like from the next, after that product backlog refinement session, like next things, the story moves to the next stage of stories, sprint planning. In the sprint planning, where the sprint planning, we used to do re-estimation of those things what we have done in product backlog refinement, like just a recheck if we are on the same page, or have we come up with any other understanding or any changes in the complexity or any new dependency we have found. So just to reassure, we used to revisit on the estimation part and add the acceptance criteria and break down the stories into tasks. Like team used to pick based on the complexity who will work on the what, with stories. And after that, like when the sprint starts, then the individuals who have taken the stories will start working on the stories, and they will keep updating on the tasks, whatever they have created. And then like once it is done, right, from the dev Scrum team member will do the coding and just deliver, complete the unit testing and all, then it will be tested, and it will be assigned UAT to the clients to test it. So then once they find it okay, yes, it is implemented and applied, and then it will be closed. If the client faces any defects and any issues, then it is to come back. It will come back, and then we have to rework on that, and then again the same cycle follows. And it will go to the client for the testing, and then it will get closed. So that this is a typical life cycle of a story what we have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Reshma.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to the other one. So could you able to share, like, if you have suggested any improvement which could have turned out to be positive for your team in the past?
Yes. Yeah. One of the improvement what I suggested in the retrospective is that, like, we used to have typical like review meeting, and I just had observed that, like, after the review, like we used to have the retrospective, and it was not we were not much active as a team in the retrospective meeting. So what I started doing from the next sprint is, like, I started with the retrospective initially with for 5-10 minutes of some game, some fun activity for just 10 minutes, so that I should get everybody's attention there and the retrospective. And also, like, with that being started as get together kind of a thing, and then I started discussing with the team members that, and I started with an example of myself, because few team members were hesitant to give feedback on anybody else. So they are not open because maybe they were not open before where they have worked, so they needed some time to open up. So what I did is, like, I just gave them my example and asked them to give feedback on me, like what are the improvements I can make, what they like in me, what they want to change in me, and what they want me to continue. So just giving my example, like, and I said, you can just give any feedback as a SM, as a Scrum Master. We will discuss and agree or disagree or whatever we'll do. So then, like, it worked out very well, and I also just and it helped me also. Like, I could also open up more with the team and take the feedbacks constructively. Like, and then, like, this helped the team members also to open up. And in the next sprint, yes, I implemented whatever the team had given me, and I didn't agree to everything, because there were some things which I could explain them. This is not like that. This is like this. Hope you understand. So yeah, that turned out to be very well. So by the next retrospective, people were like little bit more open, and they started giving feedback openly on different processes, whatever they have changes, anything what we have done. And yes, this is one part. And also another part, another thing is what I did is risks. Risks were just were getting entered in how the team or the projects used to follow is Excel sheet where we enter the risks and mitigate the plan. We have to mention the owner and mitigation plan and date and all that. But what I try to do is adding as and when the risks pop up, we identify the risks, or anybody comes up with the risks in the team. I just used to go to the story and update it, the particular story, the risk, adding another heading as a risk, and I used to update that risk in that particular story, so that will be even known to the client customers. Though I used to send the reports to everybody, but this added a value where because without the closing that risk, the story couldn't be closed. So that in that way, we could address the risk, give the risks more visibility in terms of the team. Of course, team new, but in terms of with the clients and customers. Yeah, that's from my side.
Thanks a lot, Reshma.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one is again mostly asked that how you can work with the requirements if they came in mid of the sprint.
Yeah. It's it's definitely it will be, we cannot just take in any new requirement in the middle of the sprint. So if high priority, very high priority thing comes in, and then product owner has to you will discuss with the customers and clients what will be what is actually a priority of that particular story, which has to be taken in the middle of the sprint. And generally it is avoidable. Generally we don't take anything until we get over to the sprint, anything in between, unlike in Kanban. So but in the what I'm saying is, in the extreme case, if of course, if sprint ended is another 2-3 days, we cannot definitely take that story. But if it's during the initial stage of the sprint, if something happens like this, then we have to discuss and think on which what is the business value of the story, and keeping everything transparent to the clients, customers, team, and everybody involved, the stakeholders. And we need to discuss which less prioritized story can be moved to the next sprint, and take the new requirement which has come in between of the current sprint. So in that way, we can take this up.
Okay, thanks, Reshma.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one I think is very practical scenario. So let's say you have your team, but for whatever reason they are not updating let's assume your Jira tool.
Okay.
Now the challenge is that the team members are not able to see the updates of the fellow team members, or your team is not able to see the proper rundown chart because people are not updating their efforts on a timely manner, right? Okay. So what do you do in that kind of scenarios?
Yes. Yes, as you mentioned, this is the most practical situation every SM would face it. And yes, even I too had faced this. Definitely it is not out of intention, but people tend to forget sometimes, and because they will be busy with their assigned work, taken work rather than assigned. It's whatever they're working on. And what I used to do is we used to follow a Slack channel very rigorously in our team. And if anything, I had had made sure they started the practice of using the Slack extensively, so that anybody has any problem, anything which they are struck, or we never used to wait, team never used to wait for the sprint daily scrum next day. they used to immediately ping on Slack, and just so that everybody knows about it, that where they are stuck. So this also helped, like through this, I used to remind the team. From my side, I used to check both in the morning and evening, like whether it has been updated, Jira has been updated or not. And if not, I used to send a reminder for them in the Slack, also in the specifically in the Slack, but also in the mail to the entire team, so that it didn't resolve 100%, but to the much extent it did solve the problem. So they used to update, but still, if even after that, if somebody is missing, so next day morning I used to, anyway, morning also I used to check that, and I used to make the team members update Jira. And this slowly, yes, even if it's the one more thing is, in this situation, it seems like it will be improving in 1 or 2 sprints, but again the same thing starts happening, because again they may tend to get busy with their work and they may forget. So it was a continuous effort from my side in the last, at least in the last project.
Okay, so last question for today.
Okay.
You already have worked as a QA and test manager from last 10 years. So why you have chosen this role as a Scrum Master?
Okay, so this is like a very interesting question for me, because as a tester, or as a any team member of a waterfall model projects or something like that, though when I was working in that team, but not as a manager or a Scrum Master, I myself have faced a couple of issues. May not be like entirely from the management side, but real-time situations. Like I was thinking like, why can't myself, I used to think, why can't we have more discussions? Why? And I used to think myself, like when my lead used to come and tell me, you have to document all these things and send it to the customer for the review. So, and I used to think myself, like, why I have to write so many things in the documentation? I can just have a discussion with them and then make things easier. And also, like many other values, though I didn't know at that time these are the values of Scrum or Agile, but like real time challenges what I face, like why, like I never liked that concept of manager assigning the tasks to everybody and telling who should do what. So I always believed that it should be self-motivated, then only it will work. Like people should get motivated by themselves, not by anybody else. So even if I order, or even if I make sure that work is doing, but it will not be from you can say self-satisfaction won't be there for the team members. It will be like out of force. Okay, they are getting the salary and they have to do it, they will do it. It will be just like that. But instead of that, if we make the whole environment different, like very cooperative, friendly, and interactive, so then it will create a different end result. Only people will, they themselves will show the interest in completing the task, they themselves will come and take the responsibility, ownership. So this is to tell you directly, it is very close to my heart, this way of working. So that's why I chose Scrum Master role once I came to know what it is.
Okay, thanks, Reshma, for that honest answer.
Yeah.
And friends, I think, I think we have done for today. We have covered half of the questions which were asked in her previous interviews. And I hope you have learned something new. And with this thought, just hit like and subscribe. We will come up with the second part of this session soon. So yeah, thanks Reshma one more time for giving and helping our viewer with all those questions and answers. Thanks. Reshma.
Yeah, thanks, Sona. Thanks a lot. Thanks for you and the whole community of Career Stock, whoever is contributing to the entire channel. And it is really helping many people, because not just me, It is not just a matter of appreciation. It is just an honest comment that like I saw that the channel started just in 2020, and by now it has so many subscribers and viewers. So that itself will show like how many people it is helping. So yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah, it's just because of people like you. So
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. Thanks everyone, and see you in the next session. Bye everyone. Okay.